Ooh, that last picture was pretty brutal, wasn't it? I can see that some of you are probably cringing and can feel the pain, and pretty much all of you have probably turned kind of green around the gills. I did that to demonstrate pain versus injury. I want you guys to get that in your head, all right? So let's talk about the two. How to distinguish one from the other. Pain. Pain can be a sign of injury as well, but you have to know if it's muscle soreness pain or if it's injury pain. If it's muscle soreness, it's probably due to the buildup of lactic acid in your muscles right after your workout. That's very common, especially to people who haven't worked out or haven't worked out in a long period of time, or when you switch up your routine. Now, this buildup of lactic acid and muscle soreness we call delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS, D-O-M-S. It's not a big deal. Give it a few days and your muscles will be fine. Don't rush right back into the gym the next day if you're in pain. Give it time. It'll go away. You can help speed up your recovery from DOMS by keeping yourself properly hydrated, taking a hot shower or a hot bath, over-the-counter pain reliever like Advil, Tylenol, aspirin. But I'm not here telling you to take it. I'm recommending it. Before you take any medication of any kind, always consult with your physician. Massage, stretching, those things will help get rid of the DOMS as well. And, like your coach in school used to say, or your PE teacher, walk it out. Taking a little walk will certainly help release that lactic acid, break it down, get it out of your system, and help you feel better. You might be a little sore when you get out there and take your first several steps, but you'll find that things loosen up as you go along. Now, like I said, pain can be a sign of muscle soreness, or it can be a sign of injury. It's important to know which. How do I know if I have an injury? Well, has the pain lasted longer than a couple days? Has it lingered for weeks, maybe even months? Does it feel fine under weight bearing while you're doing your exercises and then hurt like a mother when you come home from the gym? That's probably a good sign that you have an injury. 3 areas that you're probably going to see an injury first is shoulder. That's because you have little tiny muscles in there that help stabilize the shoulder in its socket. And those muscles are called a rotator cuff. Alright? You don't need to build those muscles up, but you need to make sure that they have the strength and capacity to bear the load that you're going to put on them. We'll talk more about shoulder safety when we start the exercise program. Again, another injury in your shoulder that you may come across will hurt right in here. It'll feel like it's right under this outside deltoid. Now, the deltoid is not one that we need to pay attention to except for building it, all right? It's a power muscle. It's not a stabilizer. But the one you feel right under here is most likely one of your bicep tendons getting inflammation, and then they call that bicipital head impingement. This one is not necessarily a bad injury, but if you don't take time to work with it and let it heal, it can cause you weeks, if not months, of pain. So, if you feel that pain right up and under there, slow down, stop, take time to let it heal. This is most commonly caused by taking too wide a grip on the barbell when you're doing curls. It usually doesn't hurt during curls, but it'll make you want to cry after you get home from the gym. Makes it difficult to sleep too. And I'm talking about this with first-hand knowledge because I've suffered from that several times. Both sides of my shoulders, or on both sides. You'll get some elbow pain as well. Alright. That, of course, is, you'll feel it when you're doing curls and when you're doing tricep extensions. Way to take care of that little injury is to do some reverse curls with light weight. Again, that's another thing we'll cover when we get to the exercise portion, your warm-up and injury prevention section. Now, one of the reasons, well, not one of the reasons, I got about 10 of them. There are a lot of reasons why people hurt themselves or get injured during training. Number one is probably because you haven't done an adequate warm-up. I've seen guys walk in to the gym, switch their shoes, slap on their weightlifting belt, and start pounding the weights. That's a surefire way to get injured. You need a proper warm-up. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Whether it's some light cardio or some stretching, doesn't matter which, as long as you get blood flowing throughout your entire body into all your muscles. A proper warm-up helps prevent injuries. Flexibility is another thing that I see creating injuries. You start lifting weights, the muscle gets bigger, and your muscle attachments get shorter. So you need to stretch things out in order to keep from getting hurt. So a good stretching program doesn't hurt. It can only help. Muscle weakness. What do I mean by that? Aren't we all kind of weak until we start lifting weights? That's not what I mean. You have certain muscles like the ones in your forearm or your lower back or maybe your hamstrings or your calves that aren't as strong as your other muscles. And once you start using them, if they're not built up properly, you run the risk of injury. So you need to make sure that all your muscles are getting equal attention and some even more attention if they're weak to prevent injury. Here's a huge one that I see. Overtraining. Now when I say overtraining, I don't mean spending too many days in the gym. Right? 3 days a week in the gym is adequate if you're weightlifting. I see guys in there 6 days a week, and they're just asking for an injury. Overtraining isn't just too much time in the gym. It's also when you train specific body parts more often than you need to. I mean, come on, face it, guys. You want a big chest and some big biceps to show off when you take your shirt off, don't you? So, how do you get that? You just pound out the exercises for them, right? Wrong. If you overtrain muscle groups, you actually can reverse your progress and get injured at the same time. Nutrition and, our little guy water here, hydration are another way to prevent injuries. If you're getting the proper nutrients in your diet, I said the bad word there, didn't I? If you're eating and consuming the proper nutrients every day, that's your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, you build a healthy body, stronger muscles, better repair system. Keeping hydrated, which is especially important during your workout, even more important after and on your rest days, will help prevent injuries as well. Ego. That is another surefire way to get hurt. How many times have you seen some guy walk into the gym with his buddies? They go over to the bench press, load it up with 375 pounds. The guy flops himself down on the bench, struggles to get it off the rack, brings it down at lightning speed, and bounces it off of his chest almost halfway up, and then just about craps his pants trying to get it the rest of the way up. Showing off in the gym and trying to be the big guy in the gym will get you hurt. Do your workout the way it's set up for you. Don't go in there and try to be the alpha male. Okay? Safety. Lifting form and technique. Here again with the ego guys, loading up the weight for barbell curls. They pack on as much as they can, got that bar against their thighs, poke their butt out like they're going to sit down on the crapper, punch their hips forward at lightning speed, and struggle to get that weight up. If you have to do that, the weight's too heavy. You have no business lifting that amount of weight if you can't do it with proper form and technique. That's got injury written all over it. Mental preparation. You should go into the gym ready to do your workout. When you walk through those doors, you need to leave everything else out in the parking lot. You came in to work out, and that is what you're there for. So do it. If you got stress, tension, or other things on your mind, you're not going to have a good workout, and potentially you could hurt yourself. Not getting enough rest. You need to give your body time to rebuild those muscle fibers that you just damaged in the gym. Typically, you should be getting anywhere from 6.5 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Some people say 7 to 9. I know you can't all do it. You have schedules that don't really permit it. But if you get proper rest and you give those muscles time to heal themselves and to rebuild that tissue that you've just torn up, you reduce the risk of injury. And finally, what you do outside the gym is as important as what you do in the gym. You can't drink with your buddies until you're slap happy on the ground and then expect to get up Saturday morning and go lift weights. Alright? Anything you do outside the gym plays a big factor on what you do inside the gym. Alright? So, the more risks you take outside, the greater your risk inside the gym. I want you all to be safe. The important thing is that you know how to distinguish pain from muscle soreness and pain from injury.